How you doing? Thanks for downloading the show. Welcome to Garden Fork Radio. It's Eclectic DIY. Today, Nicole and I are going to talk about solar panels instead of a generator for your house, electric cars, and a fun, cool camera that we just read about. Which would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Yeah. We have a, before we start the show, we always say hello. And we did want to acknowledge that our country is kind of a tough spot right now. And we figured you probably all are hearing about that from any other media. So our goal here is to kind of pivot and not ignore what's going on, but kind of just some stuff that we wanted to share with you. How's that?
Yeah, that seems great. I currently am disassociating watching Heated Rivalry over and over. I don't know if you've heard of this show yet.
I have.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Quite good. Highly recommended. Just get past the first 2 episodes, guys. But the solar panels. Now, I love this idea because I've been afraid of getting a generator.
So I watched a video on YouTube. The guy has he's got 1,700 subscribers, and this video has like 250,000 views. And it's a brilliant video because it's not one of these, oh my God, fish face thumbnails with the big red arrows pointing everywhere and the thing I did wrong and 5 steps you need to know to fix it. I'm so tired of this stuff. It's how I run my shop on a battery and 1 solar panel. And he just talks about it. So what he has is he's got a man cave shop shed thing that's separate from his house. He's got power tools in there, lights, music and all that. And he essentially has, it's either a Jackery or a Blue Eddy or one of those battery in a box is what I call it, and a decent solar panel. And he's like, as long as I watch what I'm doing here, I'm totally fine and I don't need to run a generator. And by extension, he says, once or twice a year, the power goes out in our house and I just bring the solar panel over there with the blue, I'm going to call it a Jackery, and I can run everything but my refrigerator. And recently he got a fold out 4 solar panel pack for when the power does go out in the house. He puts this out in the yard, the 4 solar panels attached to the Jackery type battery, and he can run his refrigerator.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I'm Mr. Generator. I'm I have 2 of them right now. She's used propane, she's used gas. And I think for a lot of people, getting one of these batteries where you can charge it from a 110 volt outlet as a backup, you can charge it from your car or charge it from 1 or 4 solar panels, is so much simpler and cleaner and less prone to break.
And what are we talking for that? How much does this stuff cost?
I think he said it was $800 total.
Okay.
And a generator now is $1,000.
Okay, so comparable for sure.
And you don't have to worry about having gas on hand or propane on hand or did I change the oil in the engine. I love engines, I love tinkering with stuff. But
right. For
the camera operator, if I'm on an international trip, spreading the word of Garden Fork, she could just take the Jackery type battery and plug in her laptop and plug in some lights and plug in the fridge and unfold these solar panels in the yard and point them toward the sun and it's done,
Well, it's interesting because, we've literally never had the power go out where we lived. And especially when we lived closer to the White House, there was some special grid situation there. But the other day, you and Rick and I were texting about this, these tornadoes that they thought were coming. And so Brent and I have been more cognizant of getting ready for this kind of stuff, making sure we have water on hand. Rick's really good at texting the reminders.
Yeah.
Having water on hand. But, and we have discussed a generator, but it seemed a little bit overwhelming because of, I know from you have to take care of your engines and
Yeah.
put the stabilizer in there and all that stuff. And it's just been like, well, like these are edge cases. It's probably not going to happen here. It's not a big deal. But more and more, we've had a couple, like the snowstorm where people were out of power. And then this weird tornado situation, which could have gone sideways, no shade there. So this is interesting. I kind of want to try this.
Yeah, with the earth warming,
Yeah.
and you might be able to get. I haven't looked into this, but I'm a big fan of the refurbished market, which I'm
Right.
convinced most of that is just someone returned it. They might have used it
Yes.
once and then returned it, and then they put it into a brown cardboard box. And you can get a substantial discount on that. And solar panels the efficiency of them just multiplies every year. And you can actually get solar panels in a scratch and dent sale. You have to
Oh.
look. You have to go through eBay or some auction sites. But you can find solar panels instead of buying a brand new one. You can have one that has a ding in it, or maybe the glass is cracked. But if the glass is cracked, it still works. I mean, you don't want to leave it out in the rain, So I'm saying
Okay.
you can drop the price of this.
Yeah, along those lines of the scratch and dent thing, years ago, one of my friends, he had tried to go to college, which just wasn't like his thing. He wasn't happy there. And so his neighbor had a couple solar panels and he had an old truck and he like jerry rigged it all together and basically drove across the country. I mean, this was, a long time. This was like the 90s.
Yeah.
He was using these big old solar panels, but kind of to find himself. And then, eventually to go back to college and has been very, very successful. But I love him taking the initiative to like figure out how to make the solar panel work as like an 18, 19-year-old young man. And like also this idea that like there's not one path. Like
Yes.
you can do something different and you're still going to have a good life, because I definitely get into this all or nothing thinking with my boys that like if they don't get straight A's then they won't do this and they won't do this and this. It's like, come on, take a deep breath. They can build solar panels and drive around in a truck.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, the
So
video,
fun.
the video I'm talking about, the title is My $600 Off-Grid Power System. Just Copy Me, which is a brilliant title. It's him with the solar panel that says "So Easy," and the name of the channel is Watts Next ? So watt like kilowatt, WATT''S next ? By EB Media. And of course, we'll link in the show notes. But I don't think anyone looks in the show notes, to tell you the truth. But
I do.
Type in Mike's $600 off-grid power system.
Okay, I look in the show notes. Also, hey, maybe this guy would come on. That'd be interesting to talk to him.
Oh, that's, of course. As Nicole's always the smartest person in the room.
Stop it. All right. Well, this is good. I'm excited. I'm really excited about this idea.
So I wanted to segue, because we were talking about this in the pre-show, but with what's going on in our world right now, gasoline prices are going back up again. And I know we talk about electric cars a lot, but our home power rates, utility rates will probably go up as well, not nearly as much. And your greatest savings on an electric car is when you charge it overnight from your home power. And you will have substantial cost savings when these spikes happen. And I do own a gas car, but it's times like these where I'm really happy that I have the electric car.
Yeah, having the options. Well, I was just overseas for a couple weeks a few weeks ago, and I got to ride in one of the Chinese electric cars.
Oh, the Build Your Dream, the BYDs?
Yes. And it was gorgeous. It was a beautiful car.
Wow.
And I mean, I love cars, but yeah. Then the guy was like, yeah, it was, super cheap and it charges really fast and, all those things. Gorgeous car.
I've never seen one. They're not allowed in the United States, from what I understand.
Nope, they're not allowed in the United States. Yeah. Yeah. But a lot of the Uber drivers have them, which also tracks, right? Gas is so much more expensive in Europe.
Yes, they sell it by the liter.
I know, it's so funny.
Makes you think.
We rented a car and we drove around. But yeah, the liter thing definitely throws you off because, I mean, to fill up a quarter of a tank, it was 50 euros. So what is that, $70?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. But beautiful car. Yeah, one of my girlfriends was talking about selling their electric car, and I was like, that now is not the time. Why don't you save that car? They bought a new house, and they're like, oh, we're thinking we'll save some money. And I was like, not now.
No, you'll actually save money with the electric car right now. Because when gas prices go down, the savings on the electric car are not nearly as much. Because when I first got my Volkswagen ID4, gas was almost $4 a gallon. And I calculated it, and then I was essentially getting an equivalent of 110 miles per gallon of gas for what I was paying to charge the car. And, the kilowatts per hour rating and all that kind of Eric techie geeking out stuff. And as gas prices go down, that cost savings is not nearly as big, but it still is an amazing car to drive. And then when gas prices spike, which is what's going on right now, you do see quite a bit of savings. So that can work out.
Okay, well, now we can turn to our fun little camera thing that I'm so excited about. So I follow this website called Petapixel for my photography business, and every morning I get a nice little newsletter roundup of what's going on in the photography world. They're independent reviewers. Anytime they're not independent, they're very good at disclosing. But they had this adorable little camera that's like, how big? Like the size of a matchbox, let's say.
Yeah.
And it says, every time the Quest cam is turned on, it gives out a random quest, like find something tiny or photograph a hidden face. It has this little baby display. And it doesn't take great pictures. It's like, I don't know, 3 megapixels or something silly. But I just love the spontaneity of it. Like, okay, let's go take a picture of a tiny thing. And the guy made it himself. So he assembled it from different parts and wrote the code. He designed his own casing, and then he 3D printed them and got it all to fit in this little case, which I was like, this is so fun. Yeah,
and he has a YouTube video about it. He does a 3D print. This is so cool. And it's a tiny little LED screen where it says Life Quest, find a hidden face. And then that's great because there's actually a couple of photography thought leaders or YouTubers that I watch. One of them, a couple of them I really like. And they're always talking about you don't need to go to New York City to make great photos. Mm-hmm. It's just a lot easier, but your small town has a lot of interesting things as well. You might have to look a little harder, there isn't, you can't go to Times Square and see the Mickey Mouse and, some other character get into a fight over, cause that does happen there. Just stay out of Times Square. You're going to get hit up for money everywhere. Like if you take a picture with one of these people that are dressed up as a character, they expect money from you. And they can be rather pushy aggressive about it if you don't give them money. But anyway.
Well, that reminds me when you say there are pictures that can be had in everywhere. It reminds me of the WPA, the Works Project. What does WPA stand for?
Works Project Administration.
And all of the beautiful, gorgeous pictures they took all over our country.
Yeah, was it last year I went back to my college, my university, which is Southern Illinois University, which is in the middle of nowhere in Southern Illinois. And I drove through just flat fields. The highway was on the highway, and there's such a beauty to that. It's flat field after field after field and then a grain silo. But to me, there's such a beauty in that homogeny, I guess. But you can also, there might be a weird sign on someone's mailbox, and I'm I love printed signs, and I like to take pictures of them. And it's just I just love that kind of thing. So you don't have to come to a big city to make great art. You can make great art anywhere, I think.
Agree. Yeah.
Hey, it's Eric Afterward. I'm editing the show here, and I actually just shared this to on Garden Fork, the Patreon of Garden Fork. You can actually follow me on Patreon for free. You just go to patreon.com/gardenfork, and I think there's a you can just follow me without a cup of coffee a month. And I post stuff for free followers, and I post some more behind the scenes and the after show for a cup of coffee a month. Anyway, to that point, I was thinking about this guy named Hunter who has a photography channel on YouTube, and he has a video called how to take banger photos in boring places. And I posted this on my Patreon feed, I guess it's called. There's like 1,000 posts on there now. And I want to drop in a little audio for the introduction to this video. So here's him talking, and then we're going to go back to the regular podcast, okay? So I'm signing off from After Eric.
So let's get into it. You live in a boring, mundane, absolutely unphotographable middle of nowhere town, right? And you think that there is no way that you can take absolute heaters for the Instagrams in Stanley, Idaho, or wherever you live. Guess what? Newsflash, you can. Don't worry, I'll teach you, and it's easier than you think. So there's 3 things that I want you to think about and keep in mind next weekend when you're out and about with your camera. Let's go through them all one by one, and then I'll show you a really cool set of photos by one of my favorite photographers that combines all of the 3 ideas into one really cohesive project that will get your creative juice machine juicing. The first one is not as simple as it might seem. Light.
So that was Hunter. I really enjoy his videos. His channel on YouTube is called Hunter Creates Things. That's Hunter Creates Things. Really, I really enjoy listening to him. He's just there's no pretense. There's, hey, we want to take better pictures. Here's my ideas. And I think he has a sense of humor, and I really enjoy that. It's important to have a sense of humor. So anyway, check him out. Oh, also, if you sign up for his email list, you will get a link to the first zine or photo book that he published a couple years ago, which I got and I really enjoy looking at. So check all that out on his YouTube channel. I will link to the zine that you can sign up. You sign up for his email and get the zine. I'm doing all these add-ons at 7:30 at night, and my bedtime is very soon. So thanks for putting up with me here. All right, back to the show. We could also talk now. The camera operator will say this to me because I like to go to art galleries or museums, and I go with a friend of mine, and she's like, I don't really know about. I'm paraphrasing because my wife is a genius, basically. I think. She's like, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to like. And other people have said that to me as well. Maybe because they're thinking they have to go to art class or something. And art is something that you like and that you react to. That's it.
Yeah. Well, in our little picture, you'll see I'm wearing my new Hirshhorn.
Yes.
Sweatshirt that I got for my birthday from my friends. And the Hirshhorn is like the Modern Art Museum, part of Smithsonian in DC. It's an amazing museum because they always have something different or something new, but it was just so fun. It's just so fun to go there. And it's like the last time we were there was with my friend Sarah, and then she brought her son, and her son happens to be best friends with my son. And so we just let them go look around, the 12-year-old and 11-year-old, like nothing's going to happen to them in the museum, and they know how to behave properly. But then it was so fun to come back together and see what they reacted to. Like, what was the thing that you liked? What did you think that was cool that was going on? And once they get past giggling about naked paintings,
Yeah.
which is totally like age appropriate. It was amazing. And my friend Sarah is from Lewiston, Maine. And so we're going through and I see this big modern art painting. And I was like, this is from Lewiston? She's like, it's not from Lewiston. There's not been any good painting from Lewiston.
Uh,
I was like, well, yeah. And she had never learned about it in childhood and so, I took a couple pictures. Of course, I don't remember the artist's name, but I'm sure if Sarah's right, you Google it, he'll come up. But it was so fun. Like, I don't know. We all need to go to the museum more. Find beauty, find joy.
yeah, and also if you're not near a museum, all of them have stuff online now.
True. Yeah.
Sometimes it's easier. I go to the Whitney Biennial every 2 years because it's biennial.
Biennial. Yeah.
And sometimes the stuff in there and I'm like, why is this here?
Right.
So just because it's in a show, it's in a show because a curator at the museum or a guest curator is putting in what they like.
Right.
You don't have to, they might want to tell you that you should like it, but you don't have to like it. It's like there was this stack of papers the last time I went, and there wasn't really any there was no text in the piece itself, but in the little card on the side, which a lot of times I don't think needs to be there, but it says, well, this is a stack of all the medical paperwork the artist had to go through to get X disease treated. And I'm like, well, it should say that somewhere within the piece, because otherwise, why, if it has to be explained to you, that's not a successful piece of art, I think.
Huh. Well, what you were saying about sometimes you're not close to a museum. A lot of times I think people are closer to museums and they realize, like, we went to Knoxville to see our friends over Christmas, and there is a Knoxville Art Museum. And my friends had never been there, and they lived in Knoxville for 20 years. And it was a great little museum that had fascinating local art. I mean, it was really well done.
Yeah, and there's passion there. It's a lot of work to open an art museum in a town that doesn't have, well, I'm sure there's some big funders around there, but in New York, there's people write, here's $1 million, go do
it.
Your art.
Yeah, go make your art.
Wow, neat. That's a deep dive from solar panels and what are they called? Battery generators? I don't know what they're called. Portable generators, I guess they call them.
Solar generator?
Solar generators. I don't know. I just call it a battery in a box. But I'm thinking about getting one.
Okay, well, maybe we can get some volume pricing. You have to tell me where you find your good deal.
Hey, real quick, if you are shopping on Amazon, appreciate it if you would check out our Amazon store using that link. Anything you buy from our shop or during that shopping experience, we get a finder's fee for. There's a link in the show notes here to use it to go to the app or the website or from any device. It's a universal link. So use that one. Help pay for the show. Appreciate that.
Do we want to talk about dogs and bags?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a subreddit my brother sent me where they talk about dogs and bags in New York City. And so I know you're all thinking about little chihuahuas and bags. But it turns out to ride the subway with your dog, the dog has to be in a bag, regardless of the dog's size.
Yes.
So people use IKEA bags and put them around their dogs.
Yep.
To pretend that the dog's in a bag.
Yep.
I guess the dog is in a bag. The dog's just walking with the bag. The subreddit is really cute. Eric's not plussed by this at all because he's knows about the bag dog thing. But the bag dog thing is funny, and you should look at the subreddit.
I ride the subway and I see this, and the problem here is that if your dog is sweet and nice, that's fine. But there are other people who want to bring their dog on, and the dog is not nice.
Right.
And if you let nice dogs on, then it's going to go south. It's going to go sideways at some point.
It's a slippery dog slope.
Yeah. So.
I mean, but those little dogs can be mean too. The ones that fit in a little purse.
Yes, I think their brains are too small and they are mean. So I hope no one has
The
a small
only
dog
dog
that's
I've ever been
listening.
actually bitten by was a little dog.
Yeah, they're you know, when I travel the subway, I leave the Labradors at home, and my neighbor lets them out. My neighbor can't have dogs, and he loves our two
Oh,
labs, and he's like, hey, we let the dogs out. Oh yeah, I'd love to do that. So he just comes over and hangs out with them. And we have a tiny backyard, and they just hang out there, and they can pee in the leaves or whatever, and then they go back in, and they're all good.
so my brother Montana, who's been on the podcast, talking about that cargo bike that he built. The main reason he built the cargo bike was for Sully, for his dog, because he takes the dog to work in the front of the bike.
I have seen that there are a lot of electric bikes in Brooklyn, at least, where the front, it looks like they're made in Amsterdam or something. They have like
Yes.
a clear maple wooden front pod thing where you can either have groceries or kids or your dog.
Right.
And has usually a mid-hub electric bike, and they're really great. And people park them outside their apartments, and they just cover them with a tarp, and they chain them to a light pole or something. And I love that. It's like,
I do too. I'm totally, yeah. I finally got my bike out and got it all ready because we had a couple, like 3 80-degree days, which were kind of weird, but also really enjoyable. And now it's back to like 40 degrees here.
yeah,
So.
surprise. I am no longer allowed to ride my bike in New York City. The camera operator just said, I just don't want you to do that. So people
so do you
do
have
get
it up
killed
at
on
the-
bike. The number of pedestrians and bicyclists getting killed in New York City has gone up.
Oh.
'Cause-
Well, a lot more people are riding.
and also the people with cars are driving like even more like idiots than usual.
Now, I would have expected the congestion pricing to have meant that there were a decrease in the number of cars, but I guess maybe they're going faster because there's fewer cars.
Well, that's in Lower Manhattan, and that we don't have congestion pricing in Brooklyn.
Oh, I see. Okay. So that hasn't rippled out.
No. Well, it does. If you want to see a great video, if you want to get out away from the noise, the political noise about the congestion pricing in Lower Manhattan, there's a YouTube channel called City Nerd, and he has a great video about congestion pricing. He's a little dry, and I don't know if the word is sarcastic, but he's very smart, and you can tell that. But he just has the numbers, and the numbers say there's been a drop in pollution, there's been a drop in noise complaints, horn noise complaints.
Yep.
There's been a drop in the number of cars. It's easier to walk in Lower Manhattan, and it has generated a ton of money to fund the subways. And that's really what it's all about, is instead of forcing upstate New York taxes to pay for New York City subways, they're charging people who think they need to drive to work in Lower Manhattan $9.
Well, and, from my time in Germany, my research was why do Germans behave more environmentally friendly in a more environmentally friendly manner than Americans? And it turns out cost and convenience are the two factors. So when you make the subway nicer, it becomes more convenient, and then you're more likely to ride it.
Yeah.
It's what kind of somebody's yelling at a virtuous cycle.
Oh, big phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah, the subways are great. They're buying new train cars. They did make one mistake on the A-Tray line. They bought you know those buses, the flexi buses, where they have like
Yes.
an accordion thing between the two front and the. So they bought these. I don't know if they're 4-car trains or 8-car trains, but usually subway trains are 10 cars long. But they can't run on the A-Train Express tracks because somebody didn't measure right, and they can't go around some of the curves on the track.
Oh, geez.
Somebody really screwed up. That's I don't know if it's $1 billion, but that's a lot of money. So they run
We had a
the
similar
local
thing
trains.
happen in D.C. when they were building the streetcar that actually closes today. There was a streetcar on H Street. They built the tracks at the wrong width, and they had to pull them up and rebuild them. And
Yep.
now, 10 years later, well, they're closing them. I love a streetcar, though.
I don't know if I've ever ridden one. Maybe. Oh, I've been on them in Europe. Yeah.
Yes, in Europe. Yeah.
But the
They're all
congestion pricing thing is the politics that you read about. I really think it's a local issue, and the people that live near that area should be making those decisions, and not people in other parts of the country, because it doesn't affect them, and it affects me. So
Why would you call about? I'm assuming that a honking noise is like it doesn't continuously happen. Why would you? How would that complaint ever be addressed?
well, we have that problem in our neighborhood. There is 8th Avenue as it approaches Union Street, if you know where that is. It's right below Grand Army Plaza. For some reason, there's a whole bunch of cars now that come down 8th Avenue, and it backs up about 10 blocks to make this one right turn on Union Street. And the people that live on 8th Avenue are actually putting up signs saying, "Stop your honking, we live here." And you can call 311, which is the New York City. It's not the complaint line, but any question you have for the city government, you call 311. And if you want to report a problem with horn honking, then the DOT comes out and goes, why are people honking their horns? It's usually because the cars aren't moving. And so I'm hoping they can do some kind of traffic study to figure out why this is going on.
Yeah, fascinating.
It might be the timing of the lights. It might be people are trying to take a shortcut. I'm not sure. I don't think it's related to the congestion pricing in Manhattan, because it's just they're going in the opposite direction. But it can be like that. There's a school near me that double and triple parks their buses, and then the cars can't get by, and so people start honking. And if you call 311 and say there's this car honking to the school, the city might go to the school and go, "You can't triple park buses."
Okay.
So that.
All right. Well, so they're actually trying to find the solution.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It's also a relief valve for living in New York. You could actually go, okay, I complained. I let the city know I'm not happy.
yeah, I'm still not honking. But I had to. Unless it's an emergency situation, somebody's about to get hit, something. And it still is hard not to honk.
Yes. Yeah. I will say with the electric car, you cannot do the friendly tap honk. I don't know why. I think it's because it's not a drive-by-wire car, but in my gas car, I'm pretty sure the horn has a little relay. It's like a low voltage thing to the horn switch. Because you see your neighbor just tap, you just tap that center thing on your steering wheel real quick, and it goes beep beep, and they wave hello. With the electric car, you can't tap. Once you hit it, it goes blank, and that's not a friendly tap,
No.
So then you drive by, and people are like, "Why didn't he tap his horn and say hello?" So.
Oh my God.
That's the one negative about electric cars.
We have a few negatives.
Yeah, I know, but we are electric car fanboys, and I think
we are. Okay, well, I think everybody's wherever they're going.
They are, and this was very cathartic. Thank you for bringing up congestion pricing.
All day long.
It works. It really does work. So, anyway. All right. So we're going to hang out for the after show for the patrons. If you're interested in becoming a supporter of the show, please go to patreon.com/gardenfork and check that out. Asking for a cup of coffee a month. And you get the after show, pictures, Eric's thoughts. Like I did a screen grab before Nicole and I took off the video, and I'll publish that just as a, hey, Nicole and I are making the show, and this is what Nicole and I look like when we're recording the show. And I'm in my basement, so my boiler is right behind me because that's where my office is. And it's this red, shiny boiler with new brass pipes. It just looks kind of cool, stuff like that.
It does look cool.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. Gardenfork87 is our email address. Love to hear from you. All right. Make it a great day. Garden Fork Radio is produced by Garden Fork Media in Brooklyn, New York. Our music is licensed from uniquetracks.com and audioblocks.com.